Hi guys, how are we doing? Hope we're okay. So I want to talk to you today something which I shared with my subscription site members last night regarding the weekly vicious cycle, which happens and is very common. I know I've experienced it. At some point I have clients when they start up with me that do it, that I have to nip it in the bud with them straight away. And ultimately what it does is just lead you with an even worse relationship with food and consequently exercise as well. I'm going to explain how that's the case and how obviously this weekly vicious cycle is not a good thing for you, and it's something that you need to address straight away. And just being more conscious of it is a good way of starting to fix it. So what do I mean by the weekly vicious cycle? Well, it's when you kind of go off plan. Let me just sort this out. It's kind of when you go off plan a bit with your food, specifically at weekends. So at weekends is kind of a real common time, a real common period where we tend to lose track of what we're eating. We tend to overindulge. We tend to relax more. Generally tend to be less active. And as a result, we consume more food, more calories. So the temptation is that when we overconsume at weekends, Saturday and Sunday, is that then we kind of go more drastic with our measures that we do on a Monday and Tuesday. So we tend to probably bring in more exercise on a Monday, Tuesday than we'd have planned. And also we tend to go more drastic with the calories we eat, i.e. we deprive ourselves of the calories that our body needs in order to pull back the damage that has been done at the weekend. Now this is something I see quite a lot. I get a lot of my clients, over 50% of my clients, to fill out daily trackers, and it's really evident to see people doing this in their daily trackers. So they'll go between 200 and 600 calories overboard at weekends from the calories they've been set, and then they'll immediately deprive themselves of their calories rather than thinking, well, actually it's happened, it's been done. Why don't I just get back to my normal way of eating that Paul's prescribed, and then we can go from there. And you might be thinking here, well, it's no big deal, it's only a couple of days. But what you soon find yourself doing with this kind of Saturday to Tuesday cycle, as if it were, was keep repeating it week after week, because you'll see yourself kind of almost getting away with not putting weight on. So then you kind of self-justify to yourself that you can get away with doing that at the weekend because it's okay, because you will deprive yourself of calories on a Monday and Tuesday and do every bit of exercise in sight in order to pull back kind of what you've put on or the damage that's been caused. And ultimately what this leads you to do is have a really bad relationship with nutrition and with exercise, because really you're using both of those forms, nutrition and exercise, as a form of punishment for what you've done on the few days before. And me as a coach, that's not the message, or that's certainly not what I want my clients to view exercise and nutrition as. It shouldn't be a form of punishment that an individual brings in to claw back the damage that has been caused 48 hours previously. They should be brought in as part of the plan and part of a strategy in order to make you healthier, in order to make you fitter and achieve whatever goal you set out from the offset. It should not be a case of press the panic button and do every bit of exercise, go on 0 calories for the next 48 hours in order to pull back the damage that you've been caused. You'd be far better off on the Monday and Tuesday just getting back into a healthier way of eating, or get back into the calories that you've been set, rather than going drastic with those measures, because I guarantee you will find yourself doing it week after week after week until you've convinced yourself that you can eat and drink whatever you want at the weekends because it's okay. You'll pull it back, and what you'll find yourself doing is week after week not moving, staying stagnant and not progressing the way you want to progress. So yeah, initially you might want to look at fixing your weekend problems, and without a shout, that would be a point to look at straight away. But inevitably, at some point down the line, you will slip up at weekends. You will overindulge at weekends. So then bringing in a strategy which deprives you of food that your body needs to function and to have more energy, and to keep motivation high, it's not the way to go. So you need to find a strategy that's healthy. And that's another thing while we're talking about motivation is that also what we found as well, because we monitor energy and we monitor motivation in these daily trackers, is that when people deprive themselves below the calorie ranges that have been set, they were putting that their energy was low, and because their energy was low, guess what? Their motivation was low as well. So it wasn't just the fact that it was giving them a bad relationship with exercise and with nutrition, it's the fact that it was really messing up their energy levels in a bad way, and that therefore as a consequence their motivation in order to exercise. So from a mindset point of view then, they weren't motivated to go out and exercise, therefore again a bad relationship with exercise, and it became or was becoming a chore to them to exercise rather than them kind of being consistent in what they ate and eating as many calories or as much food as they could possibly eat while they were seeing results, therefore having higher energy levels and high motivation levels, so it was no longer so much of a chore for them to exercise. That would be a much better way to go about things. So if you're struggling at weekends at the minute, okay, that's your first port of call in fixing that. But then don't make the problem even worse by depriving yourself on the Monday and Tuesday of calories to claw back the damage that's been done, because you'll just find yourself repeating that process week after week after week, and it will get you absolutely nowhere. You'll be far better just say Monday and Tuesday, get back into a healthier way of eating, just accept what's been and gone, but yeah, address it next time it comes along, i.e. the next weekend, and then go from that point of view. So that's just something that obviously I think society has a problem with in dealing with on a kind of common basis, and it's something that I notice with our clients that happens occasionally that I'll share with you.